Okay. I've been trying to set up the channel to make it a little more interesting, to set some of the links that to my blog, to my YouTube channel, to my games, etc., etc. And well, I hope that you like them. I mean, you can comment at any time in the chat, or you can just, well, send me messages. That's why I'm giving you here my contact, and just let me know. So let me see where I was going to go. So one of the things that I wanted to show you is that I've created some free game templates with Construct 2. So if you don't like what I've been showing so far, you still can download those and well, basically just make them your own and see the things that I've been doing. Some of the first ones that I've created are down here, like where is it? Space chain. I don't think I included it, but I was still learning, and you can tell, especially at the last one, like my rogue alien, like the kind of things that I was doing, and those were a little bit more advanced, were a little bit more interesting to do than what I already had at the very beginning, because well, I was learning. Okay, so let me see. So this is one of the templates. I was fumbling with it to take some screenshots and use it as my well my channel images, and I think they look cool. Right now I'm just going to close this one, and I'm going to go back to the one that we created yesterday. I saw that I was not able to save the um, I was not able to save the stream. I did save locally my video of this, so quite likely I'm going to show you a link when that one is uploaded. In my YouTube channel, I did upload already one of the first one that I created. So let me look for. Well, I do have it here. So yeah, I use several browsers at the same time. So you just see that here I just uploaded the first one. So I'm going to create a
So, hello.
bit.ly link for you to check. And well, right now I would just like to take the project that I created in the second stream, that is this one. So far I'm calling it Bouncy Aliens, and I'm going to just go around a little bit with it and do some more things. I think it was quite cool, and let's see if you like it. Okay, so I am just going to open here. So I'm going to show you first what I already did so far, so if you did not pay attention. So in this case, the only things that I've created is just like these aliens that are bouncing all around. So they have this bullet behavior, and I'm detecting the touch of the user, that it could be a click in this case, or it could be a touch screen like I'm using right now, and I'm able to destroy them, and I'm adding to the score. So I think I should upload this version, so I'm going to start putting there like all the games that I create while I'm streaming at the end. I didn't do it for this one, so I'm just going to go back and send you the link to the video of what I did. And after that, I'm just going to, well, basically keep publishing this part. So if you're following me, or if you're going to follow the videos after I stream them, you still can download the project that I've been working on and, well, modify it and make it your own. Okay, so as you can see, basically the only things that I did was to create these little aliens that the art is not mine. I added this bullet behavior for each one of them, and I created these blocks that are walls and have this solid behavior. And for the bullet behavior of the aliens, I just changed that bounce of solid to yes. So that's why when they encounter a solid here, they bounce, and well, that makes it look like that. The other part that I've added is that I am well, first at the very beginning of the game, of the start of the layout, I'm saying that the angle of the alien should be random. So that's why we end up with something like this. Well, that was quite crazy. So all of them are going in different directions, and I added the touch. You have it here, the touch plugin to be able to detect the touch of the player. And when I was touching one of the aliens, I'm destroying the alien, I'm increasing the variable score, and then I'm updating the score text that I have here to reflect, well, the new score. And the last thing that I did was to create a new alien every 2 seconds. So this is what I have so far, and like I said, later I'm going to publish this little project. I'm going to save it, and I'm going to, well, actually right now I'm going to save it right now as another one, so it's going to be called Twitch02. And that way I can publish like several versions, the different steps of what I was covering in the different videos. Next time, quite likely, I'm going to show you the links for each one of the videos and for the files that I created in each one of them. The second stream that I did yesterday, that was still experimenting, I was just showing you a little bit of the basics of Construct 2. So I'm going to go about that right now really quick, and then we're going to modify a little bit this game to see how it goes. Like I said, I am going to keep working on this game. I like it. It's simple so far, but it has a lot of things that I would like to show you. But also, quite likely, in the following weeks, I'm going to start working in a tower defense, because there are some students that are interested in this tower defense, and I would love to well, just, I don't know, do something with them and create something cool. And I already have a template in one of my templates, like I showed you here. This is my blog. You can find a link there, and you have one link that says directly like free game templates. So this one is really cool. And for tower defense, I should have one that is, where is it? Well, superiority invaders, cube defense. I don't know where is it. What it is. Okay, I have to check if I have it here. If not, I have to update the page and upload it, because I have like two tower defense games that I've uploaded, and it would be really great to see it there. In the meantime, I'm going to, well, I think I have it here. This is what you have with Construct 2 when you don't have a project, when you don't have anything to show. And the first thing that you do is just File, New, and pick the kind of project that you want. Most of the time I'm going to be working on a new empty project, but you have several templates here and several examples that you can use and demos, and well, they are really good to experiment with and do different things. After you create a project, then I'm going to go for my project, you should have something like this. Of course, I added different things. And the first thing that I'm going to show, just to remind you, is how to add a sprite. In this case, my little aliens, they are sprites. So I'm just going to double click, and in this list, you always have a list where you pick. I'm going to pick a sprite. So I'm going to put it here. I'm not really going to use it in my game, but just to show you. I can use the image editor that we have here to create whatever we want. Usually I go for something simple, like let's create a little square. Or you can upload an image from your computer. So this is what I have here. You may check that these images, they come from the Dutch artist Kenny. So those are Creative Commons Zero. I can use them. I still like to tell that they are his, because he has taken a great effort to make a lot of graphics that he shares, and they are amazing. But well, that's really it. So well, let's say that I'm going to add, well, I'm actually going to show you something with that later. So I'm going to add this one. Okay, so that's when you add a sprite. Okay, now whenever you select an element in your game, that it could be here on the layout or it could be here on the project side, you're going to see the properties of that project here on the left pane in this properties area. So when I pick my alien, I can see that I have behaviors that in this case they are bullet, and you can modify and add more behaviors. We may do that later. And you also can, well, delete the behaviors or change. For example, in this case I'm going to change the angle. I'm going to say, I don't know, 55, just for the fun of it. It doesn't really matter. And you also can change, for example, the position. So let's say in this one it says 10, so I'm going to say to 12. It just moves it a little bit. I could go for something really crazy, 120, but well, that's not really what I want, so I'm going to get it back to what I had here. So that's it. The other important thing that you have is that we were checking the layout and events, so you go back and forward between these two. Right now in our game, because it's quite simple, we just have one layout and one event sheet, but we can create as many as we want. And really, the layout, imagine that is a menu. So that's going to be the first thing that I'm going to do with my game today. I'm going to create another layout that is going to be the initial menu, and then I'm going to go back to this layout. And then I'm going to do a couple of more things here and there just to make it more interesting, okay? So let's start with that. I'm going to go here to the project side. I'm going to right click. I'm going to say add layout. It's going to ask me, do you want a specific event sheet for this one, or you don't want a new one? So I'm going to say add a new one. And just to do not get confused, I'm going to rename it, and I'm going to say menu. And this one that we had here named layout 1, I'm going to rename it and say level 1. Okay? Now, this is the first event sheet that we already had it open here. So I'm going to just say, I'm going to rename it to, and I'm going to say level event sheet. So it's quite obvious that it belongs to this one. And this one I'm going to say rename menu event sheet, like that. When you pick one layout, you see here on the properties that you can change the events that are going to affect the layout, and you can create layouts that share just one event. For example, what if we have several levels, level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? We could say like all the game logic is going to be added over here in just one game event, and then you have things like the menu, and then you can create a specific logic for that one. So in this case, I'm just going to do something incredibly simple. I'm going to add in the menu, in the layout of the menu, a text that says two texts. The first one is going to say my awesome game. Well, this one we already had a name, right? So it was what is it? Bouncy balls, bouncy alien, bouncy alien. And I'm going to change the color. So I'm going to say this, I'm going to make it in red, and I'm going to make it much bigger than this. And then I just make it big enough so it shows. Whatever, you can name it whatever you want, of course. And I'm going to make another text that is just going to say start, to start my game. Something like that. Super simple. Again, I'm going to change it. I don't know, let's make it blue, and let's make it also much bigger than this. Let's say 36, and also show it something like that. Okay, looks really simple. And of course, right now I'm not using like images, I'm not using anything, so this looks really horrible. But well, I guess it's the first game. We cannot really expect tons of sophistication in this. And then, well, what else? Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to open the event sheet for the menu, and the only thing, since I already added before the touch, if you didn't have that part, you just have to double click, and then you just go here for the input. You see gamepad, keyboard, mouse. I should have here touch, but since I already added, it's not appearing. So, and now I can detect when the player touches this area, the start. So I'm going to add an event. I'm going to say touch on touch object. And then it tells me like which one. I don't have them named, so I don't know which is which. I'm assuming this is text 2, so I'm going to say text start. And that way I can identify it, and this one I'm just going to say text title. You see that it changes here on the object side, and now I can go back here and add the event that I wanted, touch on touch object, and then I can say on text start, so I know which one I'm talking about. The only thing that I want to do is to go from the menu to the level. Okay, so it's really simple. Then I'm going to add action, system, go to, layout, and in this case I have two layouts, and I can pick them, and I'm going to say level 1, and that's it. One thing that I didn't mention perhaps is you almost all the time have this option here, that is the search box. So if you don't know, like for something, you can say like text, and it shows you all the text that you have. And if you are hearing something like the system and you don't know where you're going to have the event that you want, you still can say something like go to and then pick the correct one. Okay, so that makes it simpler. Now while I'm here, I'm going to run the layout, and I have it. So bouncy alien, and I press start, and I go to my game. Now you may wonder like why these aliens are moving so slow. That's just my choice because it's much easier to demonstrate that for the video. Otherwise they should go much faster to make the game more interesting. And to do that, you just have to go to the level, pick one of the aliens, or pick the aliens, so it's changing for all of them, and then you can modify the speed. You see it here. So right now it's 100, so I'm going to show you 500, which is going to be crazy, and it's going to be much more complicated, but hey, you are going to be your own game designer, so you decide what you want. Right now for the video, it's much easier for me to show something slow, so I'm just going to do that. Now, the other thing that I'm going to do is that, I don't know if you notice, but these little aliens, they're quite cool, and they do have a full space helmet here, but it's not so visible because the space helmet is white, and also the background that I have here is white, so that is not going to help me. So I have two options. I can change the color of the layout of the background of the layer, I'm sorry, or I could add an image. So if I add an image, I could just say I would do this, that is a tile background, and that's going to help me to cover the entire background within a specific image that I pick. So let's see, I don't know exactly what we have here. So let's go here, tiles. I don't know what I can do. Let me see. Background. Look, I don't know which one. Oh well, it's just a blue. Well, okay, that works, I guess. And you have a problem here, and this is going to be perfect to explain layers. So right now we have just been working with this little tab here, projects, but I can also go here to the layers, and I can see that I have only one layer. So what happens with this blue square that I just created here, this background, is that it's just covering everything that I'm adding to my game. You see it here, and that's because we're working on 2D, so everything that is on the same layer, it's going to have it's going to cover what I have there, unless I have them in different layers, and that's what I'm going to do. So right now everything is in this layer that is called layer 0. I know that it's going to be confusing as soon as I add another layer, so I'm just going to rename it. I'm going to say this one is going to call game. Okay, I'm going to add another layer that is called layer 0. If I had the other layer 1, it was going to be called, this one was going to be called layer 1. So I'm going to rename this one background. So what happens with this is that the order here really matters. So let's say that I pick my blue square, my tile background, and I say I don't want it in the layer game, I want it in the background, but it's still covering. And it's because the background here is on top in the list, is on top of the game. The only thing that I need to do is to drag it and put it down, and now it's covering. The game layer is covering the background layer. But now I have another problem. What happened with my square? What happened with my blue square? So what happens is that this layer that I have here is not transparent. So I'm just going to go here and pick the game layer and say this one is going to be transparent. And now I have however I want, and I'm able to see this little thing here. I don't know if this is the best layer. I mean, it works if I have something that has to do with the sky. Let's see, what about this other one? Okay, what about that one? Like that also works. But you can put there any image that you want. That's not a problem. And quite likely I'm going to show you some videos that I had before, and I'm using other backgrounds, but for this one it works. So now if I go back again here, I don't know if you saw before, I was having a madness alien there. But the cool thing is that of course now the alien looks much better, and then well, the background also makes it pop a lot. So far I just have a game where I'm able to touch these aliens and increase my score, but I'm not able to let's say, well, to have any like game over situation. I just win, 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 win. So this is what I'm going to do to change that. I am going to show you the animations, and I'm going to be able to show no, well, what I can do is, okay, I'm going to just I'm not going to change it differently. I'm going to modify this one. I'm going to modify this little alien here. I would like to make him, or let me see if I can just modify. I don't want this one. Enemies. I have the enemies here. I'm going to make this angry enemy here. That's it. And it's quite visible. Yes. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to get points when I touch the aliens, but I'm going to lose points whenever I touch this little enemy that it's also going to pop from time to time. So first I'm going to rename it. I'm going to say enemy. Let me see. Well, since this one is green and the walls are also green, I'm just going to change the walls to make them, I don't know, blue. So at least it's not going to have any confusion there. It's going to be quite different. And I am going to copy this event. I'm going to show you something really cool, that is to copy paste events and actions. So I was saying every 2 seconds I'm going to create an alien. What if every 2 seconds I'm also going to create an enemy? So I just select this action, and I can do it with the right click of the button, or I can say just Control C, Control V, that I'm just going to show here. So I'm going to say copy and then paste, and I have the same action twice. Now the thing is that I didn't want to create another alien. I didn't want to create two. I wanted to create a monster, an enemy. So I'm just going to double click here, and since here I'm just picking a random location for the object, that in this case is the alien, I'm just going to pick the enemy that is here. There you go. So now I'm going to be creating aliens and enemies. So let's test this part first. So at first I have my enemies here, and then I'm beginning to have my aliens here. So first thing that you may notice is that my aliens are not doing anything. That's because I haven't given them any behavior. So let's change that. I'm going to go back here to the event, to the level, I'm sorry. And I'm just going to do exactly what I did with the alien, that was to give a bullet behavior and then make it bounce. So I'm going to pick this one to add bullet behavior, that is here. But if I don't find it, I just type here bullet. The bullet, of course, is not really working as a bullet, it's just that it's the movement of a bullet that is following. And I'm going to close this. And on the properties, I'm going to say to change the bounce of solids to yes. The set angle, I'm going to say no. That's just for me to make it like look different, but it's not going to really change much. And what I'm going to do is to well, it should kind of work right there. So every 2 seconds, there you go. Okay, so this works a little better, but still all of them, most of them are going in a straight line. I don't know if that's what I want. So well, I can leave it like that, or the other thing that I could do is just to copy, to go back here and to copy this random angle that I'm doing here. And I should have done it also here, but well, it doesn't really matter. And one thing that is really cool is like right now what I really wanted is to change the angle of the enemy, not of the alien. So I can select the action, right click and say replace object. This is really cool because then it detects that I'm already talking about an alien, but what I really want is now to change it for an enemy. And now I don't have to do anything else. I could have done it like completely, like manually, but well, I guess it works this way too. Now, what else can I do? So, well, the cool thing, or what I was thinking originally, was to take away points whenever I touch the enemy. So I'm going to, I could have copied this one, but I'm just going to do it manually so you can see it. I'm going to add an event. I'm going to say touch on touch object, and then I'm going to pick the enemy. So click to choose enemy, done. I'm going to do this one, so I'm going to copy it. So Control C, Control B. I'm destroying the alien, which is not fair. I'm going to say replace object for the enemy, so I'm destroying the enemy now. And I'm going to this to basically I'm just going to copy them to right here. So instead of this one, well, this one I didn't need it. I actually needed to subtract, so I'm going to do that one. Add an action, system, subtract from, score, and since I was adding 100 when I'm touching the alien, I'm going to subtract 150 when I touch the enemy. So it's a little rough, but well, then I'm going to make certain that there's a game over condition. So I have many aliens, and I'm beginning to have here also, okay, I see what's going on here. Quite interesting. I'm going to change that in a second. That's a mistake. That's an error. So what happens when I touch one of the enemies? I begin to lose points, and even at some point I could end up getting minus score, minus. So well, so what is the error? Right now I was able to change the orientation, to change the angle of the enemy, which is not really what I wanted. What I wanted was to change the angle where that they're using to move. So that's the bullet angle. So I'm going to change that, and that it was here. So I'm going to delete that action, and I'm going to say add action here, enemy, and set angle of motion for the bullet. So let's go back. What I said is like go to the bullet section that is from my behavior, and set the angle of motion, and I'm going to type here random from 0 to 360, and that's it. That should work. So let's see what's going on. So now you see that the movement of the different enemies is random, which is much more interesting. Of course, I'm making it really hard here for me. I'm making the enemies move much faster than the aliens, so I'm going to say just 200 for the purpose of being able to well, click on them and make it much easier. I'm going to save so far my game. And the thing is that right now I could add another condition that is going to be how to well, detect that I get a game over. Okay, so the condition is going to be quite simple. If I keep touching the enemies, at some point I could get into a negative score, and that's going to be whenever I get to 0. Well, whenever it's lower than 0, less than 0, I'm going to stop the game. So at this point, I'm going to add that. Well, I'm going to do two things. First thing I'm going to add is a game over text. So I'm going to double click, add text. I'm going to say here, capitals, game over, you lost. Something like that. I'm going actually to make it much bigger than that. I want it to be super visible, and I want it to be also incredibly obvious that you lost. And I like the Sego over here. So game over. Okay, so it's obvious. So now we have a problem here, and is that as soon as I start the game, it's going to show me game over, which is a lie. I'm playing. So the thing is that what I should do is to make this element invisible at the beginning. So I just click on it, and on the properties, almost at the bottom, you have something that says initial visibility here. And in this case, I'm saying that it's visible. I'm going to say invisible. Okay, so now if I run it, it's not appearing, so that's cool. But now I can add an event that says like, hey, whenever you get to less than 150, less than 0, I'm sorry, what did I say, 150? I don't know, I guess I'm crazy. What I can do is to well, to stop the game, to show the game over, and just stop the game. So what I'm going to say is add an event, system, compare variable, score, less than 0, done. And then I'm going to go for this one that I didn't name, so text, game over, game over. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to pick the text game over, and since I don't know where it is, I'm just going to use the search box, and it's going to be here set visible. In this case, I'm going to say visible. So now let's try it. So I make some points, but then I am beginning to touch the enemies, and then whenever I get to a negative score, it appears game over. So the last thing that I'm going to do is, right now, it's saying game over, but at the same time the game continues, and I can go back to positive and then again back to negative, because I can still keep playing. So there should be something that tells me like, hey, it's game over, and then the game stops, and I don't know, I should go back to my menu. So the first part is like how to make the game stop. So I can add another action here, and this is going to be also used for pause, to pause the game. In this case, what I want to pause the game and also say game over, so it's just the same thing in the end. So I'm going to add an action. I'm going to say system, and I'm going to say set time scale to 0. And you see it here that is explaining to you which one is like how do you use this. So 1 is normal speed, that's why by default is 1. 0.5 is half speed, so you can slow down your game. 2 is double speed, you're kind of like increasing the speed of your game. And 0 is pause. You can play with this however you want, but in this case I'm just going to make it 0, and that's it. So let's try it again. I begin to make some points. Now I begin to tap or to touch the enemies, which is stupid for me, and it gets to negative score, and it stops the game completely. Well, I still can't play, but well, that's part of the things that we have to do in the future. So far, this is what we have. I'm going to show you again my contact information, so you have it there. And well, I do hope that you like so far the series. Like I said, I'm going to record all these games. You're going to start having them hopefully in the previous streams. And the thing is that I'm also going to show you well, my YouTube channel, where I'm going to upload all the videos. I'm recording them on my computer, and the 2 that I made yesterday, they are going to be there. There's 1 already there, so you can go and check them, and hopefully, well, you like them. You start playing with this game and start creating cool things, and well, let me know if you like it. So thank you.